What's going on, y'all? It is Leighton Lamel here. If you don't know who I am an actor based in New York City, and it's been a long journey, and it's been great so far, though. Ups, downs, challenges, we still overcome. But I want to let you guys know I am in great shape. I feel amazing, and I hope you are too. And I know it's been a while, but I really want to focus on, just sharing my life more with you guys on YouTube. With that being said, I'm just get straight into it. Like I spoke about it being a long road, and I'm on this path to, just share my art and craft with the world, and, just bring people together through storytelling, cinema, theater, fashion. Just things that untapped potentials that I don't even know about yet, that I just want to just keep going with. But I almost treat this as if it's a diary and just speak with you guys and connect on this type of level. And, I allow myself to be visible in some senses. But, just to give you a little background, 2019 I started acting, and I moved there to New York City because a movie changed my life. Joker, 2019, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix. I called my mom and told her I wanted to go to New York City because this thing it just caught me. You know what I mean? I just feel like it just happened. And I said, man, I want to do that with my life. I want to transform. I want to, allow myself to become a vessel for God to speak through me, and just give it everything that I have. Needless to say, not needless to say, but furthermore, I, dedicate myself to, an acting school or conservatory for almost 3 years, and I just went through the fire, man. It took myself, built myself. I'm almost at a loss for words. Basically, I broke myself down and built myself back up with the help of other actors and, instructors, voice teachers, acting teachers, script teachers, all of these cool things. And I had to develop a sense of identity. I had to associate myself and really think of myself as an artist. At first I was an athlete. I played football, and at Central Dauphin East High School in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Shout out to my city and all the people that I've come to know growing up, especially family. And this journey has been great, and I've had a lot of supporters that I've grown a social platform on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm looking to grow on here and just be open with you guys as much as I can. And just watching cinema, my stepfather would take me to the movies every Thursday and Friday, and we would go see all different types of films, primarily Marvel movies, because that's something we were interested in. He was interested in, and it got me, kind of hooked and stuff like that. But then my cinematic diaspora started to grow, or I should say universe, over the years, and just became like, I feel like I'm becoming a cinephile right now, and just learning what it means to dissect movies and understand it, and understand style and the way you can. There's a lot, but I feel like a student. I'm always a student, and I love that. I love to continue to push myself to understand what I don't know, and be okay. Like Tom Cruise said, be okay. It's okay to not know, and I'm okay with that. And I feel like I've willed myself by the grace of God to a point where I've now been in multiple plays in New York City, all Broadway productions, produced my own play called Bobby Clearly, written by Alex Lubisher, directed by Justin Cimino, and I was able to lead in that with my main man Dan Roselli, and some other great actors like Lavelle Sly, Manny Mendez, Finn Haney, Marissa, like just so many great actors. But let me reel it back in, because I can start talking. But my life has been shaped by some great artists that I really love, especially actors, but also music. And it's people like Denzel Washington, Sidney Poitier, Will Smith, Timothy Chalamet, Viola Davis, Marlon Brando, Daniel Day-Lewis, you know, so many who I don't want to forget anybody, but those are to name a few. And you know, there's been one person who really stands out among those, and is definitely on Mount Rushmore. And I can put you into the story where you know, I've been able to grow a great network of people here in New York City. I'm actually not in New York City right now. I'm here visiting my mom, but in Pennsylvania. But in New York City, where I live, Brooklyn. Shout out Brooklyn. And a guy who's been really gracious to me, and a person that I've bugged like, yo, because I've seen him in the fashion space, and he's really, you know, been a great person and a guiding light to me. But my cousin Morgan, she lives in North Carolina, and she is good friends with this person. I'm not gonna name names right now. I'm only gonna name Morgan because, you know, I know she wouldn't mind. But, you know, Morgan is my first cousin, and she came up to New York City about, you know, a couple months ago, a month and a half ago, and she and I went to the same party because this is her best friend who threw this party, you know, intimate party, very beautiful moment. We're in Soho, in New York City, and we go down to this space, this private space, you know, under a hotel, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm talking, I'm laughing, so many different types of black folk and models, and you know, like a little and then we get into the black songs, and we like to party. Hey, you know, Beyonce, J. Cole, Andre 3000, whatever version you like, you know. I like the J. Cole one, obviously, because that's my favorite rapper. But as the night's going on, I'm enjoying it. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a bunch of older people. I mean, I'm the youngest in there, maybe along with some other models. But like, you know, everybody's like maybe 35, 33 plus. You know what I'm saying? And then as the night's going on, I start to grow tired a bit, maybe 1 a.m. in the morning. And I'm telling my cousin Morgan, I'm like, yo, I think it's time for me to go. I think you ready? And as I'm about to leave, I just make one more lap. I'm like, you know what? Let me say bye to everybody. I ain't gonna give him the Irish exit. You know what I mean? Irish exit, you don't even say goodbye. You just leave. You know, like you just out. But you know, as I'm coming around the corner, and mind you, this is a black function. You know, this is a black function. You know, it's black creators, artists, beautiful people. And I look up. My, oh my. Turn my eyes right here. And I see a light. I felt it. I'm like, hold on. Is that who I think it is? And it was him. It was him. It was actually him. Actually. And I didn't even need to gloss my eyes. I knew it. And he had his cap on. And he was chilling. He was laughing. He was talking. And I said, whoa, 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 3 times. And I just kind of like, you know what? Let me just like, maybe I should just kind of continue dancing. But how could I continue dancing? How could I continue to act like that didn't just happen? How can I act like we weren't even in the same room? How could I not? So I'm taking it upon myself. I said, man, I got to say something. I have to. And yeah, my heart started to beat a little bit. But that just means it meant something to me. I was inspired, dog. Like all of the things, the memories, and bro, I've seen every single movie with the exception of 2. The J. Edgar Hoover film, and some other. There's another one that I haven't seen yet. He plays like this detective almost. I'm gonna watch it tonight. But I mean, think about somebody who shaped the way you see film. I mean, I remember Jay Gatsby watching that movie like so many times. I wanted to be that, man. I wanted to be that dude. I wanted to be that. I remember we read that. I read the Great Gatsby in high school. And I said, whoa. And then I saw the film, and I'm like, I want to do that with my life. You know what I mean? But where I come from, it's kind of like, who do you, like, you can't really do, like, no one encourages that. You don't see, there's no type of identity association to that. You know what I'm saying? It's no type of like, oh yeah, you can be an actor. You know, you can make it on Broadway. You can star in films. You can push culture forward. That there is no type of close proximity to that. It is only but a dream. It's spoof. It's like it melts away. But I feel like I just had this thing where, not even I feel like no, it's real. Like I always had this thing like, man, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And then all of these memories hit me, flash, boom, at this very moment where I'm looking at this man, you know. And then he gets up. I said, oh, there it is. My father always told me, or even in recent time, he say, whenever the window opens, that's when you jump through. And as he's coming, walking towards it, I said, I introduced myself. I said, hi, how you doing? My name is Leighton Lamel. And I have to say, your films have really shaped my life and really touched me and moved me in so many different ways. And I can't quite remember all of the rest of that I said, but I wanted to keep it short, very direct. And everything stopped, yo. Everything stopped. It was almost like, I don't know if you ever seen that show with Lily Depp Rose. Let me reel it back in. But basically the ambiance, everything, it was like fainted. Ooh, like it just kind of stopped. You know, it was like background noise. And it was just me and him. You know? And I was like, this is the same effect, you know, that I had when I met J. Cole. It's like these people are like, he was grounded. And it was a moment between us. And it was invigorating. It was enthralling. It was fiery. I felt so there with this person. It was a dance, even in conversation. And I just said, he just said, man, shook my hand and said, man, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. And though I had so much more to say, this moment was brief and sweet. But he looked me in my eyes, and I knew what that was, man. This person is a rare type of person. It's a craftsman. It's a movie star. He's an environmentalist. He's a philanthropist. All of the things that I look for, you know what I mean? These things that mean something to me, you know? And I thank God for the opportunity. And I believe in serendipity. I believe in omens. And I was just so thankful, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is it gave me so much vitality in life and energy to keep pursuing my goals, you know, and to find ways to share, you know, my craft with the world and you know, and to continue to boil this crock pot of emotions and hunger and, you know, audacity and to know that great things, like life is like chess, you know. Though I am not a chess grandmaster, you know, the principles are pretty simple. You know, you got these things, you know, you got these pawns and kings and queens, and, you know, you got to kind of just wait it out sometimes. But, like, still, like there's this saying, build it and it will come. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe anything happens by chance or by accident. You know, these things are all, your reality is all a culmination of things you believe that you've repeatedly said to yourself. And there's this certain type of delusion that you must have to continue to move forward in your life and bring forth the things that you want to see manifest. Like, you know, if you don't know by now, I am talking about, you know, encountering no other than Leonardo DiCaprio. Somebody who's really, really meant something to me. Like every single movie, every single performance, the man gives it everything he has, every time. And I love that. There is this feeling, guys, if you've never acted on a stage, if you've never acted in front of the screen, if you've never, ever actually, pursued the arts, if you've never sang before in front of people, there's this feeling of flow. This feeling of euphoria all surrounded around you. It's almost as if you're dancing with God and His Holy Son. You know what I mean? There's this thing of creation that you're becoming. Like you are. It sounds kind of weird, but you are God in that moment. You are Him. Like He is talking through you. And then when it's all said and done, you are exhausted. But this feeling of exhaustion is contentment, and it's a feeling of grace and gratitude that you just gave it everything you had. And this is what I feel, and this is what I feel through the screen, because all humans, even dogs, creatures, know truth. Truth is the essence of all things. That's why a tree can never lie, a plant can never lie, a bird can never lie. They're only true to their nature. And that's why we love them so much, because they can never tell a lie. A deer, when it walks, why is it so beautiful? When it prances across the grass. Like the Bible talks about the lilies of the field. I'm preaching, yeah. Oh, yeah. You feel me? I'm preaching at this point. But that's what I'm talking about, this feeling of flow. Like, it just feels so real, and really just to talk back, where it's like when someone's telling the truth, whether it's in music, acting, entertainment, you see a painting. Why do people cry when they see a great painting? Because it's truth. Something, it spoke to you, it's taste. And so, I met my hero, dog. That's what I'm saying. I met my hero. And I feel so blessed, and I feel so much more energy and juice in the word I used before, vitality, in a rush to keep going, you know what I mean, and to say what I want and do it and be about it. I got some dreams that I've been putting aside because I've just this fear. No, I don't want to fear anymore. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to create. I want to create a space of like love, and that's who I am, yo. My name is Leighton Lamel. I'm an actor, and I live in New York City. I'm 25 years young, and I'm so excited about life. I know life has some great, beautiful things. Some books I'm reading right now. Let me just give it to you. I'm gonna give you my recs. I'm reading Malcolm X right now, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm reading Shantaran by Gregory Davis Roberts. I believe that's his name. I'm also reading the Bible. I'm also reading. There's another one. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and there's one more that I'm also reading. Maybe that's it. But, yo, from me to you, continue to pursue what it is that you have in your heart. Whatever it scares you, maybe that's the way. The obstacle is the way. And be delusional. Write all your goals down. Believe it, say it, do it, dream it. Do not worry about anything, but instead pray about everything. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because you got to know. If you live your life as if it's already, live your life as if it's already happening. Just live it out. Live out the outcome of your life. Live in joy. Live in peace. Don't look at what anybody else has, because it doesn't mean anything to you. You don't know what it take for them to get it. You don't know what it's taking for them to keep it. I heard that from somebody. I can't remember who said it, but it was beautiful. And I'm a person who gives inspiration. I love inspiration. I love to be inspired. I love to give that back and share that back. That's a part of my being and who I am. And these are some of the things that shape me, and that's how. Leonardo DiCaprio changed my life. That's how I look at it. Things are even more clear, he's not the sole reason, but things are making sense. Things are happening, and I encourage you to go after everything that it is that you want. and share it with people. And I hope that everything, not even I hope, I know it's gonna work out for you. So yeah, it's good talking to you guys. It's been a while, and I love you. Take care.